Welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. We will be doing Star Trek in the future. Not today, though, because today we have news to cover. So, let's start out with, Let's start out with the fairly simple, Academy Awards have had dwindling viewership over the years, where people just aren't watching, and this could be for any number of reasons. People don't give a shit about the Academy Awards, people don't give a shit about watching rich people give themselves awards, people don't care about watching rich people give themselves awards while patting each other on the back for how smart and brave they are for whatever their nonsense they're spewing. And it's like, look, I consider myself a fairly liberal, borderline communistic person, and I'm like, come on, just give the awards and move on. And I think part of it is, too, where it's like, seeing these people doesn't quite have the cachet that it did for the television audiences at large, where it's like, here are famous people that you've seen in movies and some of them on TV and things like that. Like, you've seen them before, but now here they are, not in character. And they're just there, and they're wearing these outfits created by some of the greatest designers on the planet, and all of that's well and good, and all of that's fine. But in an era before social media, it had a lot more meaning to it, because you couldn't just go on Instagram or go on Twitter and see it. So now that, this is all publicly available stuff, for better or for worse, it doesn't mean as much to have a giant event about it. So, what we have here is, the Academy Awards are just struggling to stay relevant. So one of the things this year they're doing is popular movie, or most popular movie, which is a, Twitter vote. And in a world where, Bodie McBoatface is a thing, and I believe there was a school that they did a poll like this with write-ins, and I think the one that won was the Adolf Hitler School of Peace and Tolerance. Like, in a world where that's happened multiple times, you would think that this is not the best way to do it. And the thing is, too, it's like, the most popular movie is the People's Choice Awards. Like, that's what this is for. Like, you're not going to get a more legitimate response because it's the Academy Awards. It's the People's Choice Awards do this thing every year, and it's not a huge, it's the same kind of thing. So, this all happens, and then they announced, too, that they are taking 8 awards and not presenting them during the main telecast. And during the live show, they're not going to give these 8 awards. They're going to give these 8 awards before, not televised. And these awards are pretty major awards. They're not, it's not for, and I don't like saying they're, not a major award or anything like that. But if you're someone who made a documentary short and you win Best Documentary Short at the Academy Awards, then good for you. That's a major award for you. When they say major award, they mean ratings getting major awards. And the awards that they've punted to, is making it more and more obvious that the Academy Awards are more about the telecast than it is about the awards themselves. And I think this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, because, they had, they had, when they did the awards once, they had, I remember they showed a clip from, the technical awards show, which is, the more technical, and by the way, it's, for both the Emmys and the Academy Awards, they always do, a technical award show, too, for all the awards that really only the industry people care about, because, who cares if WandaVision won 70 technical awards at the Emmys? It's, people don't care, but, here's the thing, the Emmys make it very easy to find this information. The Academy Awards do not. And they have some celebrity up there giving doing the award show, and they're kind of openly mocking the people there about, like, oh, and you're here in, like, we have, the theater, you guys are all here in this little, what's it called, this little room that's, like, off to the side. It's like, okay, cool, but, like, wouldn't it be nice if, you could just get through the thing without mocking the people, without whom you wouldn't have nearly the job that you have? Like, it comes down to, like, these people need to do their job well for you to have a job. Like, otherwise, you don't have a job and people aren't watching your movies. Like, that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, I do have a bit of an issue with that. And now these aren't getting sent to the Academy Awards. They're getting done off camera beforehand. And it's like, the ones that are staying are the typical mainstay. Cinematography is not going to get, shunted off to be in its own little mini pseudo award show that happens beforehand. It is like best documentary short, best animated short, best live action short, best sound, best score, best production design, best editing, and best, there's one more, I forgot what the last one is, but these are all not going to be given during the main Academy Awards. And I gotta say, like, number one, I think that a lot of people care about score. I'm just going to put that out there now. A lot of people who are going to watch the Academy Awards care a lot about score. Like, the score is something that people talk about with movies, and it's something where it's like, you can tell the different composers, and you can, like, I can tell a Danny Elfman score compared to a Hans Zimmer score, compared to a Trent Reznor score, compared to any number of other composers who do, music. And that's a big deal, and that's getting, put on the sideline just to kind of rot. And it's like, well, why? Like, production design, this is probably the strongest category at the Academy Awards this year, where I don't think there's a clear winner. Like, looking at looking at the list of who's nominated for best production design, I think it's really a toss-up. I think it entirely comes down to a person's personal preference for how they want the thing designed. Because each of the movies is so unique and so different and so beautifully done that to say that, this is the best production design, it's not best production design, it's definitely the most popular production design. Which one gets the most people, that looks really unique and interesting and different. And that's different from, best. And I think that's a real tough one to pick. Like, I think I picked Dune for best production design, but that's a close one. There's also best sound, which I've had my misgivings about best sound existing, let alone, them doing this with it, because best sound is an inaccurate name for what this award is. It's a combination of sound editing and sound mixing, which are two entirely different awards, and to say that they are, they're the same is a complete misrepresentation of how the industry works, and that's incorrect. And in a world where it's like, look, we should be, we should be honoring more people at the Academy Awards, because what the Academy Awards does is it creates visibility for jobs and puts a face to these, nameless jobs that get, pushed over. Oh, that was it. Makeup and hairstyling was the other one. And it's like, putting, it puts faces and names to some of these jobs that are normally nameless in the endless scroll of credits that you sit through after a Marvel movie because you're waiting to see a post-credit tag. It's the same, like, you can now see the person behind what you liked in this movie. Like, oh, the costumes in this movie were really nice. So, I can now see the person, and we could be like, oh, that person did a good job. That's the big thing that gets lost here in these unsung categories that are less important, is it's going to create a situation where it's like, look, we want people to get into this, but there's no visibility to it. Like, I'm not saying people are getting into it to be seen, but it could be the person who's like, someone who has, the ear for sound mixing, or watched, let's say there's a kid out there who watched, I don't know, Dune. We'll use Dune as the example, because Dune's the one that I know got nominated for production design. And I know a kid probably didn't watch Tragedy of Macbeth. But let's say a kid watched Dune and is like, I really like how they made those things look. And then this person comes down and is like, hi, I'm the director of production design for Dune. Thank you for giving me this award. And it's like, look, that is, there's a person who did that. That's something you hear a lot when you hear about people's story about getting into the industry, is it's the moment of realization that there's a person behind the, a person behind the scenes who did the job that really made you want to do the movie. Like, the person who made you realize that, oh, someone wrote this movie. Oh, someone directed this movie. Someone, did everything here, was done by a person. And that person could be me. And to sit here and be like, well, these aren't important categories that are going to drive ratings, so we're going to put them on a separate thing, it's kind of like, it's fucked up. And it's like, I think this is more fucked up for ABC to do. I mean, ABC is owned by Disney. Like, it's like, and that's the thing, is it's like, if we look at what the movies are, it's like, what the things are, it's like, Disney doesn't have a chance of winning any of these. Like, I can guarantee, if there was a chance that Disney was to be nominated for Best Documentary Short, or Best Animated Short, this would not have been punted into the earlier category. It would have been aired. And I think that Disney doesn't like their odds in the other categories. I don't think Disney has a production design nomination, off the top of my head. I don't think that they have an editing nomination. I don't think they have any of these things. So, like, I think that's the bigger thing here, is that these are all categories that Disney doesn't have a hand in to be able to say, oh, we should air this. And maybe that sounds conspiratorial. Maybe that sounds like I'm just talking out of my ass. But it is a little weird that, I can guarantee that next year, if whatever fucking Disney short gets tacked in front of... And by the way, I'm not entirely sure how that Disney short didn't get nominated for Best Animated Short, because it was pretty cute and it was pretty well done about breaking the cycle of abuse. I did really like it, the one they showed before Encanto. But I think that, like, had they got nominated, and had there been a nomination for Best Animated Short, that category probably would not have been punted into the earlier, thing. It would have stayed in. And that's the thing, too. It's like, if I'm one of the people who makes the shorts, I'm very pissed off. Because, like, documentary shorts especially, like, this is my big opportunity to get this thing that I'm so passionate about, that I cobbled together a fucking short film about it. Like, it's not easy to make a documentary short. It is not easy. And for them to, put, like, all that work together to put the documentary short together, and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to, the largest stage I will ever have to push this movie so people will actually see it, just got taken away from me. I'd be pretty annoyed too. I'd be like, look, I'm not going to bother with this anymore. Why am I going to bother making movies that are going to attempt to, go for Academy Awards? They don't have any respect for the people doing this. Like, it's entirely a passion project, and it's, the biggest organization on the planet that awards this kind of thing, saying, you're not important because we need people to watch this show, and we don't think people will watch this. And the thing is, at this point, the Academy Awards ratings had dwindled so much, I don't think cutting out the awards no one cares about is gonna suddenly make people not, suddenly make people be like, oh, well, we're going to, we're going to watch now. Like, no, this actually makes me less likely to watch, because all I care about is the awards. So if the telecast is going to be the same, the same length as every other year, and then we're going to also have to sit here and spend time, with 8 less awards, like, come the fuck on. And the thing is, too, it's like, there are plenty of other award categories that should be added. Like, the 2 that I always go back to that weren't Best Popular Film, and that's fucking bullshit. But the 2 I always go back to is Best Choreography, which is both dancing and fighting, and Best, Best Ensemble Cast. Like, Best Performance by an Ensemble Cast in a Film. And that would be, like, those 2 categories, I think, should be added. And it's like, look, I think that, we should be doing, the Academy should be doing more to do that. And it's not, like, adding additional categories isn't going to dilute the value of the award, because it just means that, more people are getting physical awards, but what ends up happening is the Academy doesn't get, it's not like all of a sudden it makes someone else's less valuable. I don't know, it just feels so off to me that this is a thing that, is, I don't want to say allowed, because it's like they can do whatever they want, but, this, I think, turned me off to the Academy Awards telecast more than anything else that they've done over the years. Because it's like, this is these are important jobs. Without a production designer, you don't get movies the way we see them. You don't get Dune without a good production designer. You don't get Dune without good sound editing and sound mixing, or a good score. And it's like, these are very important jobs. And for you to be like, yeah, well, we'll just give the awards off screen. It's like, look, don't televise, how about this? Just don't televise it. Have this thing and be like, look, we're going to show, we're going to give it out, and then we'll tell you who won after. And it's like, at that point, it's basically the same thing. But I won't be watching now. Like, I'll read the list from Variety the next day, and I'll be like, all right, so here's who won the Academy Awards. Let's talk about who won an Oscar, who didn't win an Oscar, why they should have won an Oscar, or why they shouldn't have won an Oscar, and we'll do that discussion, but, I'm not going to sit here and watch the entirety of the Academy Awards, which is now going to be just as long, but twice as boring, because they aren't giving out awards. That's what I care about, is, I'm watching the awards show to see them give awards. I'd rather they do away with the hosts. I'd rather they do away with the fucking singing of all the Best Original Song candidates. I'd rather they just give the awards out. I'd rather they just give out the awards, and then I can just be like, okay, so here are the awards that I have seen. Here's everything. Just, add more awards. So we'll wrap up there for today. As you can tell, I'm pretty incensed by this. We'll wrap up there for today. We will start Star Trek probably tomorrow morning, because I still have not watched the back half of the first movie, because last night I fell asleep while writing, and listening to ambient swim, which is pretty fun. It was pretty cool, actually. The lo-fi noises and stuff. There's one that's really good, the one where a guy narrating nature documentaries. That one's really good. I like that one. So until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.